Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the BeerDad and Brew podcast. As always, I am your host, the BeerDad himself, Justin Allen, and I'm joined by my co-host. What's up, Brandon?
Hey, man. How's it going?
So, Brandon, we are in a very familiar spot right now. Where
You're
are
back.
we?
You're back.
We're back. We're back.
Yes.
Where are we? Where are we?
Oh, where are we?
He's
I'm
like,
sorry,
wait.
man. We're at Noble Ale Works in Anaheim, California.
Oh, so we're here again, and we're here with Jimmy Goetz.
Welcome, guys. I'm so happy to have you back. Like, seriously, that you came back. It means a lot.
Yeah.
You guys have been awesome for us.
You didn't
Thank
scare
you.
us away.
I know, right? That's why I made some really bad beer for you guys today to drink.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're stoked to be back, man. I've been dreaming of Sweep the Keg.
That's
since,
why Brandon
left,
lost for words. He's staring at all these cans right here, and he's just like, "Oh my gosh!"
Definitely send you guys away with some.
Typical guy staring at cans.
Oh, he got it. You won. Okay, I'll give you a case.
So, yeah, we're happy to be back here at Noble Ale Works, Anaheim, California, just west of the 57 freeway, across from Honda Center, as well as the Big A. Do they still call it the Big A?
No, not anymore. I don't know what they call it. Los Angeles Stadium?
Something like that. It's not owned by Disney anymore either, so that kind of lags. But speaking of Disney, you're right down the street from Disneyland. I just spent my birthday weekend there. It was a nice weekend, although it did rain. But I spent most of my time drinking in the old club level there.
How many beers did you have before you got to Noble? Before you got to Dallas?
Like 20.
I mean, that's pretty awesome.
It was spread
like
out
an
throughout the whole day, so it's not like I overdid it.
It was responsible, right?
Yes, very responsible.
I mean, hey, it was your 21st birthday. You know, you
21st.
Yeah, he just got his first drink.
Look at that.
You gotta go all out, man. Disneyland can finally legally drink.
That's right. Shout out to Becca in the club level. She took care of us, took care of the whole family, as well as my love for beer. You can see her in one of the Instagram posts as well as TikToks. She's a great server there and good person, so shout out to her. As well as shout out to Baker at Ballast Point. Took care of myself and my brother as we were celebrating there. Jimmy, thanks for that.
Thank you, Dave. You're amazing, dude. Appreciate it.
So it was a nice overall weekend, but I'm happy to be here at Noble Ale Works because you have some new stuff.
Yeah, we just canned out 4 new beers that we're pretty hyped about. Anything, the evolution as it goes forward, as long as it gets better than the past, we're happy. And these 4, we were happy with all of them. They all got a little bit better, the ones that we rebrewed. Mm-hmm. We tried some new stuff, and we got some old stuff back in the system. The sours haven't been around for a minute here, and we finally got them back up and canned, and we're extremely happy with this batch. And it wasn't intended to be canned, but we just decided to at the last minute. It was simply supposed to be a prop batch.
Yeah.
But we just went ahead and just went with it.
What went into some, like, because I know I see one beer on the table here is one that we tried last time. It was one of my personal favorites. Like, what goes into like retweaking the beers? Like, is it you getting feedback from people that are coming in? Is it like you guys are like, we're not super happy with this?
It's always a combination. I'm always reaching out. I want to see. I mean, there's always that saying, brewers brew what brewers want to brew, and my interpretation is that is I want to brew for what our customers want to drink. I mean, so always going to ask people, and try to get an honest reply of what don't you like about the beer? How can we change it up, make it better? Because if we're not, correcting our mistakes or, our perceived mistakes, or at least looking at them, then where are we going? So basically this one, we were, because this is not my beer. This is Paul, who was on our last podcast together.
Yes.
Paul. Shout out Paul.
Yeah. This is his beer. And this time around, we didn't change the malt bill, but we definitely changed the dry hop. Mm-hmm. We tried to get a little bit more like cohesion between all the hops.
Yeah.
So the last time around, I believe it was Galaxy and what was it? Galaxy and Mosaic. We do a double dry hop with this beer, and the first one was Galaxy Mosaic, and it came out very Nelson-esque and was really weird, and we were kind of like thrown off by it. So this time around, our first dry hop was, and it was really good. It was still Mosaic, but we also threw some Ella in there, and we weren't like so some of the guys weren't really familiar with Ella, but Paul had some experience, and so when we opened the bag and we compared it to the Mosaic, because we always want like smell of the hops and make sure the hops kind of have some similarity between them. We don't want that that when one hop masks the other. We don't want that. We don't want a muddled flavor. And the Ella complemented the Mosaic so nicely. And it just led into, so we do that, and we do the before, the same thing as Strata is the driving hop here, the second dry hop. and they just all came together really nice. And we go for, this one's the pale hazy, so we go for a lighter body, make it more drinkable, make it light, and make sure the hops pop. And I feel like on this one, we got a little bit better. Actually, a lot better. The hop flavor is a little bit, it's stronger on the nose, aroma for sure. And I think we're down the right road with this beer, and I think we're brewing it again about a month and a half, just to dial it in a little bit more, maybe change up the malt bill, make it a little bit more thicker on the haze and stuff like that is one of the things we kind of want to work on, without pushing the finishing gravity so high that it's one of those hazes that just fills you up after one glass.
Yeah.
We want this to be crushable. And I feel like we've kind of got that this one.
It's very crushable because I'm so much flavor going on here with this, and then the fact that it's not super heavy and I'm not going to get thrown off of my chair here at all. So yeah, and I can tell a comparison to the last batch that we had on our last episode with you guys, and this one there is a difference from what I remember. I don't know if Brandon, if you're tasting a little bit difference here, but yeah, this is a beer that's going to appeal to a lot of people, because a lot of people's main complaint with this style is you can only have like one, maybe two, and then you're kind of done, because either it's a high ABV or it's just the mouthfeel is just so thick on it that your stomach's like, man, I can't eat with this. I can't. It's like drinking stouts almost. And this is something that you could drink out by the pool, out on the ocean, on the boat. So yeah,
thank you. I mean, because that's exactly what we're trying to go with this. The goal is to make it crushable, but get that flavor, And I feel like we've accomplished that. And so like some of the other ones that we're kind of going to, increase it to the point where, we're a little bit thicker, a little bit more like a typical hazy.
What's the ABV on this
6.2.
6.2. So you're right there where you want to be on just a hazy IPA.
The same as the last one. We were happy that we managed the same ABV. Everything, we hit the numbers again right on, and so it was perfect. It was just seeing what the finished product was going to be.
What's crazy, and I don't know if you'll take this as a compliment or not, but have you had Flyjack from Firestone Walker?
No, I have not.
So it's like their low ABV
hazy IPA. This is just as good, if not better, only obviously higher on the alcohol. But what's crazy is like that one's like 4.7, and it drinks just like it.
I mean, those are hard beers to make. I mean, it's Firestone. They're amazing. Right. So, you expect that.
Without like watering it down and stuff like that. And this right here is like, man, I feel like I'm drinking a 4.7 beer, and I feel like I could get away with drinking probably a 6-pack of these out on the boat and be not driving the boat, people. Just remember, we don't drink and drive. We have a designated driver for those kinds of things, right?
Of course, always responsibility.
They got
first.
autopilot on the boats, don't they?
You just get a Tesla, Tesla boat. It drives itself.
Auto driving. Shout out to Elon Musk. Get us a Tesla boat. Yeah, that'd be great.
Coming soon with like the BeerDad and Brewed logo on the side.
Hey,
there you go.
There you go.
Wrap it.
Yeah. Hey, pretty soon he's going to make a phone, so you might as well make a boat too.
Right? Oh, God.
Oh man, but yeah, no, this is great stuff. This is
I'm happy you guys enjoy it. That you guys got to taste the first and second batch is rad. Just so you can kind of see the change.
Totally.
You know what else that I think of offhand, with it being easier drinking but still opening you up to all the characteristics of the hops, is for somebody that says, I don't like that style of beer because it's too hoppy, or it's too much ABV, or it's too thick, I can't do it. And maybe they're like the Pilsner lager drinker, or just not a beer drinker in general. This might actually help bring them into that genre too.
Yeah, thank you. We feel the same way about it. It's one of those beers when someone comes around, they want to try stuff, and I'm there. I will pour this for them. I'll say, they'll be like, I don't like hazies, I don't like hoppy beers, but try, I'll go try this. Just try it. And usually the response is really positive. And sometimes people are, they like what they like, and they're not in the move from it, but every once in a while, we get somebody who's like, they really enjoy it, and see that, that change of, preference is always nice. It knows that me and Paul and Paul is doing the right thing here. He's hitting what he wants to hit. So it's awesome to see it happen, especially someone like Paul, who, I mean, the first version was the first beer he ever commercially brewed.
Right.
First time ever being a brew stand. And just to see him come back the second time around and be, his mind was in it. He knew what he wanted to do, and we got it all dialed in, and to see it come out and be better is like, that's what, for me personally, that's what I want brewers to do.
Yeah.
Like every batch, has to be a little bit better than the next one, unless we've hit that level where we're just happy, and we're clearly just starting going. So, I mean, we got a long ways to go, and just to see it, we continue to get that with a lot of our batches, a little bit better next time, and it's nice, So I'm happy you guys enjoy it, though.
Yeah,
I mean, we're doing good so far as the first beer. Well, technically, this show, we always pregame a little bit. You were having us sample some things, but first beer for the show, and we hit a home run already, so that's good.
Thanks, guys.
I see you grabbing the can that I'm excited.
I got to cut, I got to cut the IPAs with a little bit of sourness.
All right.
We might need to put a little like music for this can.
Yeah.
People's
I think so, right? Yeah. In post. Normally I would play it, but we're messing around with some different equipment that didn't quite work, so you always got plan B, plan C. So we're actually recording on the old BeerDad's phone here, so should be interesting on how it comes out. But I'm excited to try this because, as Brandon said, and hopefully we dub in some background music for this. The can art, very Ghostbuster-esque.
This was the one, man, when you said, hey, we're going to go down to Noble, we're going to try some new beers. This was the one when I was excited for all of them, but this was the one I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah, I saw it when they when they posted it online. I don't remember what I wrote, like hell yes or hell yeah, I can't remember, but everybody knows the BeerDad's like a huge Ghostbusters fan. That's just the era I grew up in. As you know, the BeerDad just celebrated his 40th birthday, so Ghostbusters is definitely in my wheelhouse. And I saw this can, I was like, holy shit, this is dope. So
yeah, I was pretty stoked on this can too, to be honest with you. Josh Buckhalter, who's in charge of marketing, does all our design stuff like that.
He did that? Okay.
Yeah, so we took the old can, but we revamped it a bit. And I love everything we did can-wise this time around. Everything kind of pops at you. Yeah. A little bit better than the last cans we had.
Yeah, I noticed some of the new releases that we're going to be talking about. Some new releases or re-releases. Yeah. The can art's different, and he's doing a great job.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I appreciate him. He works hard. Argues with our owner constantly about it. But I mean,
sometimes you got to be like that.
I mean, he's passionate, which is rad. You always want people like that around you.
Right.
Yep. So this guy, I was so happy to brew this beer, honestly, because sours are like my thing. And even though people, are kind of down on kettle sours, like there is a bit of an art to it in the way you craft it, So we did. I rigged up the system to make it, feasible to happen. And so we took a single pitch of one of my favorite lactobacillus was a Buchneri. Mm-hmm. So when I make my kettle sours, I try to kill. A lot of people will go ahead and they'll lauter it over. They'll get it to pitching temp and they'll pitch their lacto. Personally, I like to control the flavor, so we always pasteurize after we lauter to kill everything in there, and then we send it through the heat exchanger to get it down to about 100 to pitch our lacto. So we know we're only getting lacto in there. We know we're getting that flavor, and this is my favorite lacto. It's Buchneri. Not many people use it. Yeah. It gets you more citrus notes in there. A lot of citric acid in there. And what happened was our CO2 delivery truck had some problems, so we had to sit in the tank another day because we need to clear a tank. So this guy ended up sitting in the kettle a day too long and got down to 316 or something like that before we even pitched the yeast, and it was just so sour. But one of the things I like to do is and I know people will kind of poo-poo this, is I love running terminal acid shock ferments. So typically, you can do an acid prop where you get the yeast will dry it out, but for me personally, those they're too sour to the point where you're taking tums after you did things. So this finishes higher gravity, so 10, 16, I want to say. And that balances against the sourness. So it tastes more tartness. But after you have a couple sips, it starts biting you back in the jaw and clinching up a little bit. Yeah. And to me, it's just clean. I love it. It's a great start. And it's just a plain kettle sour. Nothing else in it, really.
Well, let's dive into it. I took a little sip, and my mouth's already watering because it's like, let's go, let's go.
I see that there's a little oolong tea in there. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Okay, so we this traditionally is done with magnolia oolong tea, and this time around we didn't get the flavor we wanted, and it's always been for the past kind of one of the things where they've had an issue with. There's if you look at the books there's been 15 or 20 brews of this beer and about 15 or 20 different ways to try to inject the magnolia.
Yeah.
And so we tried a 24-hour recirc on this, and we got a little bit of flavor off it, and so we just left it in the brink and let it sit for 24 hours before we injected it in. We didn't get quite the flavor we wanted. Next time around, we're going to add another, type of way to get the magnolia tea in there. But for the first batch, really happy with this guy. It crushes. It's great in the morning. It's responsible. It wakes you up. It's like, if you don't want to drink caffeine, just have a Ghost.
There you go.
Right?
Yeah.
The sour just wakes you up. It gets you going in the morning.
It's got a little tea.
It's only
there.
4 ABV. You know.
I love it. Goes
Busters. Really good, man. Yeah.
Yeah, but this is just the first. And even though it is a single lactobacillus, we're going to start adding other lactobacillus to make our own house culture here. Yeah. And we're pretty excited. We're going to start propping up plantarum and throw it in there to get a little bit more bite to it.
Now that you have this, you can make it a thing, and you could do like Ghostbusters 2 and have a different variation. And then you could do Ghostbusters Afterlife or Afterbite. Just keep going with it.
We could.
You gotta walk that fine line of those C&Ds that come around. So
hey, if you get one, you get one little shot. They'll send it out to you.
Yeah,
and then you got to stop, and until you get that that C&D, you're good to go.
You're good to go.
Just
right?
Keep pushing it.
Yeah.
I noticed you skipped over the all-female reboot.
Yeah, as a Ghostbuster fan, listen, I was very stoked for that version for a couple reasons. One, the director, the writers, and then the comedians that were playing the actresses that played in the movie.
Yeah, it was a good cast.
And what really pisses me off, and I actually blame it on Sony, if you believe all the internet rumors, originally the script and everything was written it was a sequel, and the actresses, some of them were daughters of the original Ghostbusters. They were going to be in the movie, and it was like passing the torch. I could care less. If it's females, males, doesn't matter. Females can be Ghostbusters. I don't care about that part. That's what some people were mad about, and I don't. Because I was like, man, Kristen Wiig's amazing. What's the girl from Saturday Night Live?
Leslie. Oh boy,
yeah, Leslie Jones.
Leslie Jones.
Yeah, so she's freaking hilarious. And then of course, what's her name?
Kristen Wiig. Was it
Kristen Wiig. And then what's the kind of the chubby girl, the one from
Melissa McCarthy?
There you go. So you got that, and then I'm unfamiliar with the one actress that had the glasses.
Yeah.
I think she was a musician, if I'm not mistaken, but I can't remember.
Sure.
But anyways, originally the script was supposed to be a sequel, and it was going to be the same story, but just continue. And then somewhere Sony was like, we need to reboot the whole franchise because we can't get everybody on board, and this is what's going to happen, so we're going to reboot it. And like, they ruined the story. Like, as a kid growing up watching Ghostbusters, it is what it is. You're excited that it's coming back into something that I can get my kids hooked on. And then it was like complete reboot, not the same story. Nothing was the same. Like, Bill Murray was in it as a cameo, and he played like a doctor or something, and he was not. Yeah. It was horrible. And I was like, they ruined this freaking movie. So I was disappointed. And then, of course, most fans were. And then when they came out with Afterlife, that kind of fixed it. That was like the worst sorry from Sony.
Afterlife was amazing.
Oh, man. Did you cry?
No.
You didn't cry at the end?
But I watched it more than once. I know that much.
I cried at the end. I distinctly remember my teenage daughter that I took because she wanted to go with me. Her looking over at me. She's like, Dad, are you crying? And I was like, shut up.
You'll understand one day.
I don't want to ruin it for those that have not seen it, but the ending will make you cry if you're a big Ghostbusters fan. So, but this beer this is cool. It really is. Like I said, I took a little sip and then it made my mouth water. It had that little pucker factor, and it was like, give me more.
Yeah,
and
totally. There's
really
something.
Good.
Yeah, man. I love Goja, and like there's something almost kind of like thicker about the mouthfeel of this. Like towards the end, I don't know. Like it's just
so that's the point of the sending the yeast into terminal acid shock. Finishes higher gravity, you get more mouthfeel.
Okay.
And you don't have a killing like one of those sours that just strips your enamel off your teeth.
Yeah, that's what you don't want.
Yeah, and so it's like back in the day IPAs. How much bitterness can we get into?
Yeah.
And it seemed like sours went that way for a minute too.
How freaking crazy sour we can make.
Yeah.
Like a warhead.
Like you bring a box of Tums with you before you even go to the brewery because you know you need it. I mean, truthfully. And I just try to balance it, try to make it. People like the tartness, and so we try to push that a little bit. But to have it in a manner that it builds up as you drink it. You'll like 3 to 4 sip in, that jaw will start clenching up on you, like you're drinking a really really like sour beer, but it doesn't taste so sour.
It's an enjoyable sour.
Thank you.
Man, it's really good. And I do almost get a little bit of that tea like towards the end.
It is there,
like black
but it's
tea.
so
very subtle.
Yeah, it's so subtle. And I wanted to push it more, and it just was what it was. We were just happy to have this beer back on the menu.
This is cool.
Yeah. And so, I mean, for a first batch, for being, to bring it back where it's drinkable, it's good. It's not, everybody who's had it seems to enjoy it. So,
yeah.
And we were just happy it's on the table. We're drinking it. I'm happy you guys enjoy it.
Yeah, man.
Most definitely. I'm one of those people that, like, I hate to be the guy that'll buy something for can art.
That's why we do it.
But I would buy that for the can art. But the cool part is at least you're getting a good beer with it,
right?
So people will be pleasantly surprised. Yeah, that's fucking.
Yeah,
rad.
but if you come over to Noble and you're not a sour fan, or you see that and you're like, whoa, I don't know what a goes is, or you're like, what goes? What? Just try it. Like it. Just get
goes
a
the
taster.
Garzarian.
Yeah, you're like, I don't even know what that means. Like,
hey, that's an easy our next beer.
Is it?
I mean, we got to do that, right?
Yeah,
I feel like that's a great idea.
Yeah,
we go with all the characters.
that's right.
Okay.
Have a whole line. People go crazy for that stuff.
And then those C&Ds come out like crazy.
Oh man, you betcha. Well, at least you're doing it after Afterlife came out. But I think next Christmas the sequel to Afterlife comes out.
No.
Yes.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah. No.
Oh, I'm excited about that.
It's got a secret code name of Firehouse, and it's being filmed in New York, so it's going to be in the original setting, but with the new characters from Afterlife.
Maybe old enemies come back. I'm hoping.
What's his name? Vigo.
Vigo. Stay Puff.
Vigo. I'm stoked. Either way. So, but this is really, really good. So we've had 2 totally way different beers, both of them very, very solid, and that's what's really cool. And this is what we noticed the last time we were here. You're doing a great job here, because when I go to a brewery, one of the things that I like to do, the first thing I do when I go there is, if they have it available, or some will call it a flight, or some will just say tasters, depends on the brewery. But I like to try a little bit of everything until I find like the one that's like my pint that I'm going to drink for the rest of the night. And I judge a brewery by, if I get, say, 4 to 5 different beers, if I can at least have 2 that I like, it's pretty solid. And we're doing good, because, most brewers, you have your favorite beers that you're super passionate about, and you do a solid job. And then there's the beers that you have to make. And you can always tell there's not as much passion behind those unless it's a really good brewer. And here, everything is solid. And if I remember correctly, last time I was here, not one beer did I didn't care for. Everything was good. Everything was, especially the Sweep the Keg. We were talking about that earlier.
Yeah.
I drink all of them.
That's my personal.
I drink all of them.
Everybody loves that beer. It just doesn't move, though. I don't know why. We all love it.
People just
so
don't
good.
understand.
Yeah,
It's so good.
Is what it is.
And it's got cool can art. So if you're
Yeah.
like,
Right?
shit, I mean,
Right?
I don't
Josh
know.
does a
Get
great
it for the
job.
can art.
But I gotta say, the beers. So my way of avoiding, I love brewing every type.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I don't like having people in my brewery who are working in the brewery who don't have a say in terms of the beers we brew. If they can brew, if they can write recipes, like so, I try to bring back the old stuff, the old SKUs that we've had. The cores like Big Wig, bring them back. Revitalize them. But we have Brandon Castillo from Modern Times, who loves writing lager recipes.
Yeah.
He does most of our lagers. Like, and Sweep, Czech Pills.
Yeah.
Like,
That was
we
good
have
too.
a dark Czech in there right now that we started fermenting the other day.
Yeah.
We're coming out with something kind of like Timbo, like an IPL, like Italian pills, with a little more hop flavor than you expect from a lager coming out soon. Something to kind of
That'll be fun.
yeah, we're really excited about that one actually. So I mean, and then Paul does the hazies. Me and Paul does most hazies now. I'm starting to kind of jump on and do my hazies as well. But there's no single person. Like, I just kind of am leading the ship. But in terms of the beers we make, that's a group effort. 100%.
That's awesome.
100%.
Yeah.
Everybody takes care of it. Everybody has a say.
It's cool when a brewery does that, because other breweries that don't follow that model, you'll have someone that's like, okay, I'm the brewer, I'm in control, this is what we're brewing, and then maybe you have some, cellarmen that help you out, and maybe you let them come up with a beer and every once in a while.
Yeah.
But to have a staff, a crew, and everybody has their own little specialty, their own niche that they're good at, and this is what when we were at Harlan down in San Diego, what they're successful with. Ryan's the same way, the head brewer there. He's very, we tried that. Remember that breakfast beer that we had there? So one of their assistant brewers, she came up with a beer that tasted like orange marmalade, sour.
Yeah, okay.
And it was so fucking good.
So
it was
good.
so good. Orange marmalade and coffee.
Yeah.
Sour. Ooh. Yeah. And we're like, no, I don't know. Well, we're still going to try it. And man, it was amazing. And that's something that one of his assistant brewers come up with. And that's what Ryan's all about, is like, because that's how he got his start, was getting those opportunities. And, and Harlan does an amazing job because it's a team effort.
Yeah.
They make so many different styles at Harlan. You got hazies and West Coast and lagers and rice lagers and in sours and those crazy barrel aged stouts that they do there too. So it's and everyone has their own little niche, and Ryan just kind of makes sure
I love
it works.
Harlan. Every time I see them in the bottle shop, I'm picking up cans for Harlan.
Yeah.
I know that much. But the thing for me is you want your team to come in and feel like they have a say in their part of it. It's so much more fun to do it together than to just do it by yourself and expect to get that fame that some people seem to want from this.
Yeah.
Screw that. Let's come in, let's kill it, let's have fun.
And drink some beers.
Exactly. And I don't want anybody to be scared to say what they think about a beer, honestly.
Absolutely.
The worst possible thing you can get is people who tell you what they think you want to hear.
Yeah.
Which is never the case. It's, the regurgitated crap just bothers me.
Yeah.
So when somebody tells me I don't like this beer, or tell me why. And we all listen to it and we all enjoy just hearing it, because now we have something new to work on.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the way we roll. And I mean, it seems to be working so far, but hopefully it'll keep working.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. Keep the team together, because everything that we're sampling, it's nice to have a little mix of everything and have it solid.
Yeah.
Now that I've cut the IPA with a sour, we gotta go back to
I'm actually really excited for this one, because
this one everybody drinks it says this is so different.
So what we're about to try is one of their new releases. I'm really, really stoked for it. I told you earlier, Brandon, because they use some New Zealand hops in it.
Yeah, Wakatu Showers, is that the name?
I believe so. We'll have to get the can back over here.
One of the things, though, that I love, just while they're pouring this next beer, one of the things I love about Noble is that they have the confidence and the balls to brew in so many different styles. It's kind of like what we're talking about, so many breweries get stuck in their
wheelhouse.
Niche. Yeah, their wheelhouse, exactly. Yeah. And these guys are like, hey, okay, this isn't necessarily our specialty, but we're gonna try it out. And just goes back to them sourcing opinions from the staff here.
Look at that color. You have to get some photos of that, Brandon. I was just telling them, Jimmy, that I'm excited for this release, because when I saw that you guys were coming out with it, I'm like, New Zealand hops is kind of like that new thing in the brewing industry, and excited to see what your take is on it. And so you could tell us about the beer, the name, and what kind of hops you use. But something about New Zealand hops that, every single beer that I've had, I had one from Harland, I've had one from Pure Project, and this will be my first one from you guys. And they're just different, but good. Yeah, different in a good way.
All the hops. My big thing has always been that over New Zealand, most of the I'm pretty sure all of it, it's all organic, naturally.
Right.
And the terroir produces tons of thiols.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what hop it is, you're gonna get dankness notes off it. And so this is an old favorite. So this is our shower series, which is our single hop beers. We always run them a little bit higher. So this is 7.5. We've been the last one. I don't know if you guys. I don't think I gave you guys Strata. But I've been trying to play with the malt bill a little bit to just make the hops pop. So this is 50% pills, 50% two-row, a little bit of dextrose to dry it up. Mm-hmm. Coming in at 7.5. But really, I mean, this is all about showcasing the hop. So it's just Wakatu,
100%.
Just Wakatu in there, and Wakatu is typically, you don't see that many IPAs. It's more of a lager hop for But it doesn't matter from New Zealand hops. You can use anything, and you're gonna get great flavor. And the weird thing about this beer is you get those nice dankness notes you always get from New Zealand beers, but you get this just floral bomb in there that's unique, I think, for beers. And as it warms up, it just gets better and better, which to me, when we started drinking this and we were doing a canning run, and the guy who was doing the canning machine just kept drinking, and he just kept enjoying it more and more and more, to the point where it's kind of like, ooh, buddy, you want to hand it off to somebody else before something bad goes. And but what he said, and Beaumont's amazing. Andreas is amazing. They do a great job for us, and his takes on all the beers that we always open my eyes to things I didn't see,
right?
Which is always awesome. And this one here is, I love it. I'm glad that we redid it. This is an old favorite here. It hasn't been done in a while, and when we did it, Freestyle hooked us up with some great hops here, and then it's just a freaking hop bomb of unique flavors. Though you typically don't get a floral, dank, like slight like citrus orange note IPA.
So the biggest thing is on the nose on this is when you really take it in, you're like, holy crap, this is so, like you say, floral and intense, but in a good way. And so when you have that on your mind, you're thinking, man, when I drink this, it's going to smack me in the face, and it really doesn't. You have a very, very nice, like you say, unique floral flavor, but I'm getting, and I don't know if you guys get it, a little bit of a sweetness of like a durian fruit. I don't know if you ever tasted it. Kind of has that bubble gum flavor.
Yep, yeah, that candy note. Candy note.
Yeah, I was gonna say cotton candy specifically, but
that's what I'm getting, and it's in a good way. It's not like overpowering anything, but there's a nice mix there. And then what's really cool about the uniqueness of the flavor on this and the crazy aroma that you get is how it rinses so clean, and that's a huge one for these types of beers. To really nail these types of beers, you can't have residual hot burn in your mouth or that, like we like to call it, the dirty stain in your tongue. Man, that's a good beer. Really,
Thank you.
Really good.
I was happy you guys came out when we just did a great canning run. I was like, this is perfect timing. Josh had sent me a message, and I was like, because I had been like, man, every single one of these, I was like, oh, this is dope. This is dope. Especially this is the one that I was like really excited for, because you don't see it a lot. People, it became a fad for a little bit, and then now I think just because of cost or whatever, I don't know why it's kind of died down, or some people just didn't know what to do with it. But this is a good beer.
I feel like New Zealand hops are becoming more and more accessible, right? It used to be, very tricky to secure.
Like
one brewery would get it and be like, all right, we're going to cut it. It's cocaine.
It was like Galaxy 2018, where that was exactly what was happening. Yeah. Galaxy was the hop. Everyone hop is like the new Citra. And you were like paying like so much. And I remember at Ballast, we got one day we got like 1,000 pounds of Galaxy, and there was like a celebration in every brewery because we all knew we were going to get a little bit of it, and we've been trying so hard to get some.
Yeah.
But nowadays, so we have a great relationship with Freestyle up here, up in Torrance, and what they pull, so it's Global Craft, and they pull hops over from Freestyle Farms in New Zealand, and everything we get from them is absolutely fantastic.
Nice.
I know we're not a lot of big breweries like Monkish use them. And so everything we get, we just trust them on it. I think after this one, we're going to do a Motueka Phantasm showers, which that was so I saw it. It came in, somebody emailed it to me over there. First thing I did is send it out to Steve. I'm like, Steve, wish list. We're doing this.
Yeah. That right there, Motueka and Phantasm is going to be a home run. I can guarantee.
Oh, yeah.
When people hear that,
watch me fuck it up horribly.
Nah, I'm sure you'll be all right with it. I've always wanted to brew with
shaking as I do the dry hop.
Yeah, always wanted to brew with Phantasm. My old partner Brandon, I don't know if he's brewed yet with it or if his last beer that he did he did with it, but he was able to get a hold of some on the homebrew side, and I've always wanted to see what you can do with it, because it's a different animal. But some of the beers that I've had have been ridiculous.
I think it was at Monkish, like when I started this job, it was one of my introductory days, and they had I think 2 or 3 Phantasm beers, and I tasted it and I was like, what is this hop?
Yeah.
And then someone had to finally describe it. It's not a hop. It's like grape skins,
right.
like basically. And I was like, what? And you can only get them from Freestyle.
Yeah.
Like they're the only person who has them. You have to like be like, I don't know, special or something to get it. We're just lucky enough to like, where they just released a Phantasm like Motueka hop. It's like, and we're just,
let's do it.
We're gonna do it.
Yes.
So we're stupid. We're really, really excited about that one. Even more so than this guy. And this guy is, I think like we all love it. Even the girls in the tasting room who like poo all the beers. Everybody likes it. So I mean, I feel like we hit a home run on this one. Not so much hit a home run, reproduced a home run. Is the best way to put it.
I think that any of the hop heads out there that are the beer nerds, they're definitely, this would be right up their alley. But I even think for somebody that's never really explored this type of hop in their beer, if they like the kind of West Coast style IPA, then they should definitely try this, because you're in for a different experience. It really is. It's one of those things where you almost become a beer nerd by drinking it, because then you're like, God, what am I tasting here? Like, what is this? It's just different than the normal hops that we're used to and everybody's used to. So that's really cool. I'm glad I got to try it.
And for us personally, like I don't know if I don't see many single hop smash beers anymore.
Right.
Really, and I think for us this works like it's like you kill 2 birds with one stone. You get R&D in there and you get a great beer, because you just you select hops that are then probably come through amazing. Right. So now I mean we're starting to dial up recipes with Wakatu in there, because we can see how many like combinations with other hops go well.
Sometimes that one hop combination, or not even a combination, it's just one hop. It really, I believe, because some hops they develop, in certain styles of beers, they take on all these different flavors. And if it's just a single hop and it's not mixed with any other hops, you get more, I don't want to use the word personality out of it, but it just shines through more. Yeah. One of my favorite beers that was actually made by myself and Brandon Gray, the other Brandon, Miami Vic. We made it last year as our fundraiser to get us to Irie Jungle, and that was Vic Secret. It was the only hop that we used.
Great hop.
And it was a hazy IPA with Vic Secret, and it was so perfect for the name, because we were wanting to get that tropical thing. So I told Brandon, I was like, let's just do Vic Secret, because potentially get that pineapple flavor. They just kind of like the more tropical citrusy flavors, and that's exactly what it tasted like. It was nice, and it was smooth, mellow, hazy IPA with just the pineapple flavor. It came out so good. So I have that recipe.
Send it over. Come on.
Miami Vic.
My thing is it's gone to the point now, and it's always been around, where there's just 3 hop, like, I don't know if it's a formula or whatnot, but like so much of the time it just becomes muddled.
Yeah.
I mean, how many times do you go to a brewery and they have like 6 hazies with like 3 or 4 hops and they all taste the same?
Yeah. Right.
And you're like, like, so I mean, I don't try to go beyond 2 personally.
Yeah.
I mean, Odie is 3, but I feel like Paul dialed it in really nice, so they all kind of synergize together. But I feel like it's really important hop-wise to make sure all those hops pair up to create a distinct flavor. Yeah. And if they don't, and all the beers taste similar just because you're throwing hops left and right, you kind of, I mean, that's what we try to avoid. So that's why I felt it's got that more orange, like, dankness, and it's distinct from Wakatu.
So let me ask you this, and I don't know if you want to give up this secret or not, but...
no secrets. Until you ask a question I don't want to answer.
Okay. How old are you? No, I'm just kidding.
Don't ask that. That's terrible.
I know the answer to that.
So close to that.
But do you ever play around and like do like hop teas and stuff like that to mess with the combinations to see if this is what you're looking for? Or
not so much. So not right now, and it's just because of its time-wise thing. But going on that, before that, I think what I did was. So I had a heated stir plate. Oh, no, take that back. Stir plate. Yeah. What I do is I take, 50 milliliter flasks? And I would put it on stir plate with hop, and I'd take 1 hop. I'd put it in ambient. I'd put it in 20 seconds in the microwave. Yeah. Stir it up. Put it in 40 seconds in the microwave. See how they all tasted. Yeah. And it was crazy. And I think what I did was I got drunk and I went on more beer when I used to homebrew, and I bought like 50 2-ounce different hops.
Yeah.
And I got drunk again and then sat there and did every single one to try to see what they came out as.
Yeah.
And just doing that showed me, I learned how distinct hops can get.
Oh yeah.
And it's the same, it's not just hops too, it's ABVs and beers.
Yeah.
And yeast. So like another thing I would do is I would get water bottles, air-held water bottles, clean them out, and I would put in enough sugar to make 4.5, 5, 5.5, 6, 6.5, 7, 7.5 beers. Same yeast, same exact hops, just to see how each one differentiated between the two. Because, it's those things that are going to fucking lend to the creativity of the beer at the end of the day.
Yeah.
How do you create flavors from the yeast and the hops and the malt so they combine nicely? It's all about that synergy. And if you don't think about it, if you don't know about it, a lot of times it's going to become muddled.
Yeah.
And where you get that one flavor that just permeates so many different beers, at one brewery, which is always disappointing. So, and it's not hard. You just got to go do it. Just get drunk, smoke some weed. Hey, if you need some inspiration, do some cocaine, I guess. No, I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
I love that explanation, though. Justin and I were talking before, as you were pouring this beer, that like one of my favorite things about Noble is like I feel like you guys are not afraid to try any style of beer. There's not you don't want to get boring. Like you just
you're right. You hit a nail on the head. We just don't want to be boring.
Yeah.
We want to honestly. There's a thing to flagships, establishing beers, but even those beers evolve. We need to make sure they're relevant, and they'll keep evolving. As long as they're close enough to the previous version of that batch, so it doesn't, offend, our customers who come over and over again.
Right.
We're going to keep pushing it.
Yeah.
We're going to keep pushing it. We're going to keep going in the directions that either, a few people are doing or maybe no one's doing. And if it fails, but at least we're trying. And we learn from those, we see what we did wrong. And, we know it's something that evolves over time. So we know maybe this batch, but we're going to look at it and we're going to say, why the heck did this turn out crappy?
Yeah.
And from there, we'll just, we've already, it's done that with our dry hops. We've done that with our different malts we use, specialty malt wise, how we use them, and even our yeast pitches, how big we go, in terms of, how long we let them ferment and stuff like that, what temperature we go, how we rise up the temperatures to make them dry out. Yeah. And how much, like for this beer particularly, one of the things we wanted to do is we wanted to dry it out. High ABV beers, like you were talking about, where you get that hoppiness on the back that just doesn't go away. Yeah. Part of the reason why I personally, this is an opinion, is that the malt is, the body is so big that the hops just stick to those, the malt, particulates still in there and it just lingers. Yeah. So drying it out, even it lets the hops stand forward, but it's light enough to dissipate from your tongue. So when you have the next drink, it's like drinking it new again almost. And that's like the big thing is don't let that it's not cloying, but in a sense that it's the same thing as cloying. Right. And I feel like lately we've been dialing it in. So we get a lot of dry beers that have that drinkability. Take a second drink and it's fine. It doesn't build up on you too much. And I feel like we've kind of got to that point where we're happy now. Yeah. But then again, the yeast is going to go to shit and we're just going to fucking go back to where we were. So, but for a point in time, it worked. Are we ready to drink this naughty?
Yeah.
Oh, yes,
sir. We ready to drink
go.
this naughty?
Yes, sir.
Are we getting naughty? That's the question.
No, we're not.
Not yet.
I'm always naughty.
All right.
Man,
it's hard to pick a favorite because all three styles are different, but I really like that last one. I just took the last drink from the glass, and I'm just like, that is one of the more unique beers that I've had. I put that right up there with the I can't think of the name of the beer. I'd have to look up Instagram. I can't look on my phone, but the beer at Harlan that we had, it was a West Coast IPA, Cryo Ice.
Oh, Cryo Ice.
I had made a statement that was one of the best beers that I've had in 2022.
Yeah.
And I actually shared it with Brandon. Was it on his birthday? I think it was on his birthday. I brought him some, and he loved it. And just like I said, Jimmy, this is right up his wheelhouse. He loved it. It was a damn good beer, and this is right up there. I feel like very even with the uniqueness of the beer. Got the aroma, the flavor. It's one of those ones that you'll remember. Like Jimmy was talking about earlier, a lot of the IPAs and the combinations of hops, they all start tasting the same. And by doing different beers with some of these unique hops and keeping it more simple, it does leave a lasting impression. And I feel like this beer, I won't forget that flavor.
Yeah.
As well as the cryo eyes, and so like they're even for me. So that's Jimmy missed that. I basically, in a roundabout way, said that is right up there with one of the top beers I've had in 2022.
Don't say that.
Yeah, no, it was.
Thank you.
So cause right now my number one beer for all of 2022 is Cryo Eyes from Harlan Beer, and I have this very similar experience where the aroma, the flavor, and everything is just right where I will never forget the taste of that beer. It didn't taste like, and I'm not bashing other breweries like, Electric and all the other ones. Solaris, one of my favorite breweries, because they do a great job over there too. But beers that just stand out for uniqueness for me, that not necessarily like a crazy beer, like something with a million different adjuncts or anything like that, but just a really well-made beer that is different than what you're normal to drinking. Like you said, all the IPAs that taste the same with 40 different hops added to them. But yeah, it's right up there. I'd say probably top 5 of 2022.
Thank you very much, honestly.
Wakatu's a beautiful hop. You took a beautiful woman and just accentuated her incredible qualities.
No, I mean, trust me, you listeners will have to try it. They have to, because it's a different beer experience, and it's a good beer, and it's something that you're going to be like, I can't find that anywhere else.
Yeah.
That was so unique. It was different but good. And it wasn't crazy or overpowering or anything like that. It's just a different beer that. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, you hit the nail on the head. That's exactly what we're going for. Distinctness.
Right.
I mean, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But I mean, if you're not trying to put new flavors in people's mouths, what are you doing?
Yeah.
I mean, I think I don't want to say it's a problem, but I think people don't look at brewing as a culinary art, and it is. I mean, that's the thing, is that a lot of people look at it, even brewers, from a technical standpoint, it's like it's a science. But the science is, I mean, there's science in culinary art too. And just like figuring out tastes and flavors and what makes them, and the masking and synergy and stuff like that, like it matters. And you got to take account of your water, your hops, your yeast, and your malt, and figure out what are you trying to combine? What do you not want to stand in the way? Are you trying to go big and push all four in a meaningful manner? They synergize.
Yeah.
You're tempting fate. Probably be the best beer ever if it actually happened like that. But I mean, typically we focus on two aspects. Usually malt and yeast. Hops and yeast. But we are trying to push the malt, hops, and yeast together now. But like you said, simply, because you start getting complex in any one of those aspects, the complexity takes it like a butterfly creating the hurricane. You never know where it's going to go. So put in, personally, like, a flavor that's distinct from each of those aspects that you understand that works with the other flavors. You don't make it a guessing game, and see where it goes. And a lot of the times when you keep it simple, it works out better.
Right.
Man, the aroma on this next beer, like I could smell
naughty sauce
as you're walking. Yeah, I mean, take us through this beer, man. I'm excited because I've had naughty sauce before. I know this is like a really big beer for Noble Ale Works.
So I got in trouble. I didn't get in trouble, but so we reduced the coffee by 1/3 on this.
Okay.
And I'm sorry, Evan Price, if you get mad at me for this, we completely changed the way the coffee goes in.
Okay.
Typically, it was all grounds just dumped in. This time around, we decided to do it 3 ways. I don't want to say how much. I'm going to say it all. We did a small portion of coarse ground, straight in the tank. That produces, but at the same time, we left a large portion whole bean. Because those are 2 flavors. It's the same coffee bean.
Yeah.
But you're producing 2 flavors from the same bean. Since there's the same bean, it's going to be similar and they'll work together well. So we did coffee ground straight in, and because beans float, we put them in mesh bags and clamped them and let them sink to the bottom.
Yeah.
Still trying to get those bags out of the tank. And then
Draw straws.
God. I had one of my guys try to get in the tank to take him out, and I had to stop him. He's like, I can fit through the bandway. I'm like, no, you can't.
No.
I don't care if you can. You're not going in there.
Yeah.
And then so what we did is we apportioned bags, and the amount of beans that could fit in there were going to be the whole amount of beans that were going to bags. And the final, the residual beans, because they float, went on top, and that way we had beans submerged. We had ground scum submerged, and we had beans on top that were permeating flavored from top down, so like a steep almost.
Yeah.
So we tried to hit it in a bunch of different manners, and the coffee that came out was 24 hours steep before we racked off.
Nice.
So the funny thing is, I didn't want to try this beer because I was like, oh god, if this fails, I'm in so much trouble. And then on the canning line, like the Beaumont guy, Andreas, is like, he started texting my boss saying, "This is great, this is amazing. I tried it,"
Right.
and then we all got drunk on naughty sauce that day. But what we were trying to do. So the previous batch was more lactose forward, sweeter.
Right.
It was like kids' coffee, is the best way I could put it. This batch, because one of the things internally it needed more coffee flavor, so we tried to go at it from a different angle.
Yeah.
And it was kind of fortuitous in the way it happened because we got the beans and I expected them to be coarse crushed, coarse ground, and they were whole. And I was just like, and then I started doing some research, and I know Chris Klein over at Syncopated, who's a huge coffee guy, he's told me all his experiments about doing a mix of coarse and crush.
Yeah.
Or just coarse or just crush, and how distinctive those flavors are. And he would give them to me so I could see it. And so I just decided, hey, let's just mix them together. Coarse is going to produce more flavor. It's also going to produce more of that green matter flavor, Mm-hmm. But the bean itself produces, you smell the bean, and the coffee never tastes like the bean smells, right?
Right.
But you get that flavor from the outside of the bean if you just steep it. You got to use a little bit more, but it's the way it works. You're tasting it. It comes through so well. You don't get too much green matter, like that bell pepper flavor. You don't get any of that really, but you do get a little bit of green matter. But it's a holistic coffee flavor. I feel like it's got more aspects to it than you would typically see in a coffee beer, for me personally. And then it cuts through the lactose sweetness, and the sweetness stands that lactose stands secondary to the coffee, which is up front, is exactly what we were trying to go for, and it was just pure luck that it happened the way it did. Now we have like an SOP to do it over and over again. We're super happy about it.
Yeah.
And then it was on a 70 barrel batch. What's good to do? It was one of those risks you take where you're like, well, probably not to get fired. Hopefully.
Is this? I know it's canned right now because they just it was just posted on the Instagram. Is this something that's on the tap too?
So the old batch is on tap right now. We're about to put the new batch on tap. We're also about to make. We have cinnamon roast crunch we made from this batch already. We're making nice sauce tomorrow. Peppermint cacao nibs toasted.
Oh wow!
We're doing mulled naughty probably after that. Mulled spice naughty after that. We're just gonna do a whole bunch of variants.
A little Christmas action,
right?
Yeah, perfect timing.
I mean, everybody else, we got to do our own thing here. So we're pushing all our naughty over in the 5-barrel fermenters and just putting flavor in there and seeing where we go.
I like that.
It's fun, and the best part about this, and it goes back to the team aspect, is what happens typically. It doesn't matter if I do the first push of flavor or someone else does. Somebody else always comes in the back to add something to it to make that flavor that we want pop. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like the man's milk you guys had, the orange chocolate.
Oh, that was good.
Was originally it was just orange peel and cacao nibs and vanilla, and it came through a little bit, but then on top, after I saw it, we doused it with orange extract and marshmallow extract to make it pop and mellow it out a little bit, because what we were going for was that chocolate orange that you'll have, and I feel like we nailed that flavor on that beer, and we're stoked on that. So I mean,
so good.
It's never one person on these beers. It's always us.
Yeah. There's a lot of cool shit going on here at Noble Ale Works.
Thank you, guys.
And we're experiencing most of it right now. And you're listening to it on the BeerDad and Brewed podcast. What I love about this beer is, it's one of the kind of core beers here. A lot of people, you already knew what naughty sauce was before we came here the first time. I've heard it. I've seen it posted everywhere in stores and stuff like that. Cool name. But it's just such a different beer. I mean, you see golden stouts here and there advertised, and this is probably one of the better ones. I mean, it does well for you guys.
Probably.
Yeah, probably. It is. Golden Stouts. So if I'm going to put you guys, yeah, I mean, that's got to be in the top 3-4 Golden Stouts that are out there.
There's only 4.
There's only 4. No, there's a lot of beer companies or breweries have attempted the Golden Stout. And one thing I've noticed about Golden Stouts is you get a lot of times when they don't do a good job on them, you get a very syrupy, like, I don't know, maple flavor. It's just not very good.
Yeah.
And the good ones, and I've noticed a lot of the good ones either have a coffee note or a coffee mixed with like chocolate or something like that. Ones that I can note that I can say that this stands right up there with would be Faction Anomaly Milk Stout. And that's a really
Cheers
good.
To that, man.
That's what the very first Golden Stout I ever had was that one, and I was like, "What the hell's going on right now?" Because at that time, stouts was all I was drinking, and I remember going to Faction in Alameda with my uncle because they live up there, and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna take you to one of our local breweries," and we pull up, and I'm like, "Holy shit! Look at this place! I mean, it's right on the water. You get a view of San Francisco across the bay. You see the Golden Gate and Bay Bridge. Really cool brewery." And I went in there, I said, listen, I've never been here. This is way before the podcast. This is a long time ago. I said, I've never been here. And I just want to try a bunch of different things. She said, what do you like? And I told her, I said, mostly I drink stouts. I really like Belching Beaver peanut butter milk stout. She's like, I got a milk stout, but it's going to blow your mind. So she makes me a flight and I'm looking at it and I'm like, where the hell's the stout at? I thought you were saying it. She's like, there's a stout in there. And I was like, where? Because I'm looking at, you got ambers and West Coast and what looks like here when you look at it. I mean, it looks like it's going to be an IPA or something. And so she's like, you'll know. I'm like, okay. And so I started drinking. It was like the third beer in. I can't remember exactly. And I just remember pulling it up into my nose. I'm like, oh man, I smelled like coffee. This has got to be it. And I remember tasting it and telling my uncle, I'm like, this is stupid. This is so stupid. And I remember buying like, I don't know, 3 or 4 packs of it to take home. And then not recently, probably a couple, 2-3 years ago, when I met my aunt down in Arizona, I had her go and get me some to bring to me, just because I like it so much. And then from there, the old Carl of the Strauss variety, they made a campfire. I think it's campfire. It was one of their, every year they released a Christmas beer. And then last year was the last one in that series. But one of the years they made like a s'mores themed Golden Stout, and it was stupid. And this is right up there with those.
Okay. Gonna do that.
Yeah.
We have all the flavor to do that.
Yes. S'mores.
No,
Yeah,
but
s'mores
going to your, like, the way that when you tasted it from Faction that first time, that what the fuck?
Yeah.
So I honestly, when I brewed this beer, it was the obligation beer.
Yeah.
Like you guys are talking about. And then I tried it and I was like, holy fuck, this is a fucking beautiful recipe.
Yeah.
This is a beautiful recipe. The balance is so nice. And I just want to brew it again, honestly. I mean, just props to Evan for this, because I mean, this is a lovely, simple recipe that's balanced. Yeah. The sweetness against the coffee, the bitterness, like it all comes together, right? I mean, and when it's good, it's hard not to drink more of this stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Who remind us who provided the coffee?
Bodie Leaf. Right down the street, Bodie Leaf. They so it's awesome. Ronnie over there does a great job with us. We get the beans roasted. We let them sit for about 5 or 6 days. Yeah. And at that point in time, it was kind of like, do we want to grind them? You know what? And how much? You know, we let them sit for the right period of time. But we have they took us out before we started this whole my first introduction to Naughty Sauce. We did a cupping over there where we tasted about, I think, 15 different coffees to determine exactly
which one to use.
Yeah. And so the previous batch we did 3 variants. It was this one, El Salvadorian, a Colombian, which is a anaerobic bean, which is a fermented coffee bean, so you get much more fruity flavors off of it. And it was also a Costa Rican blend, which is kind of a combination between those two I described. Your
nice
technical coffee to kind of figure out where we're going. Like, what do we like in this? You know, how are we going to put the and it was interesting to see it. So like the fermented bean didn't really come through coffee wise. Like it just kind of made it more fruity and cloying in a sense. Costa Rican was okay, but we kind of just stuck with the El Salvadorian for this one, and I feel like we got it what we wanted out of this beer.
Right.
And I'm just happy it worked out the way it did, and we have a way to reproduce this beer relatively easily. So I mean, and now that we have such a big batch, it's just it takes some pressure off us because we don't need to brew as much. Yeah. Because we just pump them over in 5-barrel fermenters and just spice them or flavor them and whatever.
Throw some adjuncts in there and come out with different variations.
It's the most fun thing to do,
right?
Like because people love the naughty variants, and so just producing them is fun. Mostly because I don't have to brew.
You know what? I just had an idea. Here you go. This one's for everybody here at Noble Ale Works. You're gonna like it, but very similar to VAS, Victory at Sea. Got to have a naughty day and have a huge festival with several variants.
I have already said this. I've already mentioned this.
Did you? Okay.
Oh yeah.
See, we think alike.
Yeah. No, you got it. And what is it? Is it Victory Sea Day this Sunday?
It is. I'll be there.
and the only reason I am not going is because every Victory at Sea Day I end up not remembering the entire day.
Sounds like that's what's going to happen this Sunday.
Somebody puts me in an Uber, and somebody puts me in an Uber. I don't quite remember, other than just completely like diarrheaing my feelings all over the person who's driving that Uber.
Yeah,
hey, man.
And then I give them the biggest tip I can manage for them because it's just embarrassing.
Yeah,
that's what Victory at Sea is.
Oh my gosh.
Right?
Well, if you change your mind.
Well, what location are you guys going to?
Miramar. Yeah, change your mind. Come drive out by me. I'll pick you up and we'll roll together, and you can. And we'll even record a podcast while we're there.
I got to get all the way back up to here, though.
Yeah, that's true.
You guys should come to Long Beach. Sit on the water. See? And I know everybody there. They'll treat us like kings. We'll sit in that little area that's like, it descends, right by the water. Just saying. Mario, the GM, will come and ask if we're okay.
Right.
Juan will give us free food.
There you go.
Saying.
You
saw how Baker did you, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's even better at Long Beach.
Oh man, don't tell me it was a good time.
Same,
but
because I'm trying to figure out a way to get to Victory at Sea Day responsibly.
Yeah,
which never ends responsibly.
Right. Victory at Sea Day, and I'm trying to think of a good pun here that we could have. Naughty in Anaheim. I don't know. So
you could go in too many wrong directions with naughty.
Yeah.
I feel.
Well, that's why I'm thinking it would be really cool. Like the theming and the marketing behind this is like my wheels are turning. I'm like, this could totally be a thing. Like we're getting naughty at some point. We're gonna figure this out.
So tell me what you think of our. So we have hazies, right? We have the Felt series. So we have Felt. You guys haven't tried Felt Intergalactic, but we have Felt Intergalactic, Felt Odie, and I'm introducing Touched. And I feel like Touched needs to go before Felt. So my first beer is Touched myself, Felt Intergalactic, right underneath. I feel like they pair together so well. We're going to change the yeast up to make it like, like a juice type yeast. But I feel like, the cohesion is just there. It's like you got to buy a 2-pack, right?
Yeah. I like that. Got to be Touched and Felt.
So what else you guys want to drink?
Man, I don't know.
Anything. I mean, anything that you want us to talk about, because so far we've had 4, and all 4 have been phenomenal. I'm still stuck on Wakatu.
Right?
I can't get that one out of my head. That's a damn good beer.
Because it's just the hop. It's not the skill so much.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a little bit there, but that hop is so beautiful and so underutilized.
It is.
The price on that hop is so much less than you would expect. Like you're paying, like people are paying what, $28 a pound for Waka right now.
Yeah,
and we're paying like $12 for this.
Just as good, if not better.
I mean, Waka's Waka, but like it's not twice as good as that.
It's good.
So, how about we can do Felt Intergalactic, or you guys want hazies, or you guys want?
What are you feeling?
I don't know. Oh, we gotta do Tribuco.
Okay. So far, Felt Odie might delete. Wakatu. Yeah. Goza Busters.
Oh. And
That's
the
gonna
new,
look good on the video.
The new naughty sauce.
And the new naughty.
Yeah.
Extra,
I gotta say,
naughty.
man, I really love them all, but like I just love that Goja Busters. I feel like that was one of the most unique Gojas that I've ever had. I don't know if it was that little like tea kick at the end, that kind of thicker mouthfeel, because I'm just so used to Goja as being just kind of like light in terms of, you know, like they're just that
sometimes they can be, yeah.
like
that one was perfect. And the crazy part about it is the flavor.
Yeah.
I mean, it just, I don't know if it did the same for you, but like my whole mouth was just like tingling and like in a good way.
Yeah.
In a good way.
I mean, Goja to me is like just one of the most unique beers. Like it's just, it's a wild ride.
Yeah. Now, one of the cool experiences, and I highly recommend it. Well, you might end up being there at one point. If we take a trip to, I'm trying to remember where it was at. It's in the Branson area, but I found a brewery, and for the life of me, I can't think of it.
Branson, Missouri?
Yeah, so Branson, Missouri. So this would be up in Springfield. I was there with old Uncle Craig, and this brewery had they specialized in a Goza style beer, but they did traditional like German style where you would add fruit syrups to it, and they had several different options. So they had the base like this base Goza, and they would you got raspberry, blueberry, strawberry, or you could mix them all in. They would throw the syrup because that's how they do it in Germany. You order the Berliner, so more of a Berliner style, and they would put these syrups in. Just a neat experience. You could do a flight of them, and but there's a couple cool breweries there in Springfield. So obviously we go out there. We don't have to worry about hotels because we got family back there. So
yeah,
good to go. And I know
the Berliner Weiss is like the fruit is added afterwards.
Yeah, and of course, obviously, something that would be I've been waiting to do a bearded Beaver Man's Brew House, which is Uncle Craig, his brewery.
So Uncle Craig has opened the brewery.
It's opened as a private club.
Okay,
so we definitely want to go and do a show there because my uncle. He does a good job with his beers, and he's kind of learned the trade. And the people there in the Branson area really like his beers, so it'd be fun to go back there and check it out.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool to see a bearded Beaverman brew house collab with Cryptic Brewing.
Oh yeah,
that might be kind of cool.
Yeah. Shout out to Brandon, our former co-host, and his new venture of Cryptic Brewing coming soon to Beaumont, California.
Oh yeah. I've seen a couple of those, couple pictures that I guess, that he's posted, that you posted.
Stouts, right? Stout guy?
Sure.
Let's do my first batch of minutes. How about that?
All right.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Yeah. So there's a lot of potential trips here on the horizon at the BeerDad and Brew podcast. We're going to try like hell to go back to Irie Jungle in April. And in May, maybe. I don't know if I can pull this off and do April and May, but Jimmy was talking to us earlier about CBC in Nashville, as well as visiting Southern Grist in Nashville and the Southern Collective Distillery as well. Shout out to Shane Wyatt, one of the managers there. There's a lot going on in Nashville.
Oh yeah, man, dude. I had the pleasure of getting to travel out there. I believe it was like 2 or 3 years ago, and my Uber driver, he picks me and my lady up from the airport, and driving around, whatever. He's talking to us, asking us what we're doing, and I could tell he's like looking at me. He's kind of studying me a little bit. He's like, "You like suds? You like your suds?" I don't know. I guess I just
look like a
guy.
You look like that brewery guy.
Yeah, you could tell because that's what I was thinking the whole time.
He was
he's
stereotyping
giving us so many
you.
recommendations. I'm like, I'm hoping he's gonna give us like brewery recommendations.
Yeah.
And sure enough, man, he gave me a whole list of
perfect.
Yeah. So there's some good spots out there, man. Smith and Lentz, that's a brewery that I love.
Yeah.
Nashville. Anyway,
yeah.
all right.
Nashville's got some spots. They've got the Burning Beard. They've got
Wait, what?
Bearded Iris.
Bearded Iris. Sorry,
Yes.
Burning Beard's down in San Diego.
Yeah. Smith and Lens.
And then Southern Grist.
Southern Grist.
Really good brewery back there. They got what is it? Monday Night Brewing. The Georgia brewery that's back there. We're talking about Nashville.
Yeah.
No, I'm going there in
Tennessee
May.
Brew.
So, like I was telling you about earlier.
Yeah.
So I'm just listening and trying to, gather all
The
this.
411.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll figure out a way to go. And
No,
we'll
you guys
party out
got
there.
to.
Yeah.
You can do your little thing where you set up a stand.
Yeah.
I'll be there.
CBC. We'll have to look it up. Are you guys going to have a booth there, or are you just going?
We'll have a booth, but we'll be drinking
Okay.
and learning. And learning.
And learning. Yeah.
Very
and
important.
learning.
Very important.
That's awesome. So yeah, maybe we'll see. BeerDad and Brew podcast takes Nashville. Yeah, there's actually I'm just telling them. So not only breweries, but I have a friend, and this is something you might be interested in. So my really good friend of mine, Shane, who paramedic, he's a firefighter. He is now working for a brand new distillery in Nashville area, and they how they came together is the group that he's with. They're just like a huge rare barrel picker group, and he can get a hold of some really good barrels. So I might hook you up with Shano and see if we can get you some barrels.
I'm just trying to get cognac, brandy, and sherry barrels in here.
I'm sure he's got connections. Yeah.
So maybe a port barrel if I'm really, really lucky.
Yeah. I'll hook you up for sure. But that's somewhere you got to go when you're in Nashville, and
Definitely.
taste some of their stuff.
Yeah. So this is it's been around forever, man's milk, but completely rewrote the recipe. Typically you see this is always the thing I see with stouts is base malt, chocolate roasted barley balanced against C80s. That's makes it smooth. So fuck that. We're gonna, because it's a milk stout, we did 16% roasted barley.
Okay.
Just push it over the top and just balance that against the milk stout. Put some Victory malt in there, a little bit of C80, not too much. This is a first gen batch, but we're happy with where it is. I think we're going to push a little bit harder. Yeah. And I didn't, because when I started, this beer was on tap as CO2. Supposedly this is supposed to be a nitro beer. So
yeah.
I just learned after the fact. All right. But this is be one of the always a staple at Noble, and we're happy with it. And, I think next week, once we get through Naughty, we're probably going to put out 3 or 4 variants of this.
Okay.
In addition to that orange chocolate you guys had, we have a couple ideas coming out.
So this is a man's milk? Is that what you said?
This is a little piece of me in every glass.
Is one of those specialties going to be something that might kill you?
I have the guys come up with something like that. No, because it needs. I know how that was. It was what was it? Peanut butter Victory at Sea. At Ballast. Oh, that stuff just flew.
Yeah.
I was so happy because it was gone before I could smell it too much.
There you go.
But I feel like that's the peanut butter stout is a staple.
Yeah.
It needs in terms of that's probably variants on a stout. That's
right
up at the very, very top. So I'm gonna have the guys do that.
Yeah.
And I'll stay 15 yards away from it the whole time. But it'll be there.
I'll drink it and I'll let you know how good it is.
But you got to yell across the room because I'm not getting too close.
That's
to
right.
But we're just trying to, on this one, the goal was basically to push, instead of balancing the caramel malts against the high roasted, balance a high roasted. Well, it's not really, I guess you call it a high roasted, but roasted barley against the lactose.
Right.
I mean, and I feel like it worked pretty well. And this, I have to give credit to Aaron Justice, the ex-head brewer of Ballast, who's now the owner of East Village down in San Diego, right by Padre Stadium. They're putting out amazing shit right now.
East Village
Brewing.
How do we not go there? I just recently did a huge brewery crawl for my brother's diaper party not too long ago.
Diaper party.
Yeah, it's like the, what do you call it? What's it called when
Is it a Letterkenny party?
More or less.
I saw a soft. What is it called?
It's so diaper party's the male version of the not bridesmaid party. What am I looking
Bridal
for?
shower?
Bridal shower.
Okay.
No, not bridal shower. The one for the baby. What's that one called?
Baby shower.
Baby shower. It's a guy's baby shower. You're supposed to bring diapers and stuff like that, and then you end up partying. But and ours was, he said, I don't need the diapers. We're just going to go on a brewery crawl. So, and it was all guys.
At least he was honest about it.
Yeah,
man.
Yeah. So, and something we were talking about earlier, we were all dressed up as in dad gear. I had my shorts and shirt tucked in, and my brother actually went one step further, did the fanny pack. Another guy did the fanny pack, and we were hardcore. There's actually one of our bigger TikTok videos that people have been watching is that one, and I dubbed it of us walking down the street in downtown San Diego from one brewery to another, and it's like in slow-mo, and it's like dubbed to the song "It Feels Good to Be a Gangster." It's just really funny. People love it. But yeah, we started at Mission Brewing. So we went Mission. We went to Lost Abbey, the church. From Lost Abbey, the church, we went to Bay City upstairs, the rooftop bar, and then we went to. There's another one mixed in there. Little Miss was the last one that we went to. Half Door. Is that what it's called? The Half Door back. I think it's Half Door Brewing. It's literally right behind Petco Park, like right down the street. You can see Petco Park from the top, patio.
So it's kind of over by East Village, that Gaslight District area.
So I have to go check that place out now that I know that it's there.
God, their stuff is unique, good. I know Brandon's amazing, but Aaron, the stuff he puts out there, honestly, like a lot of the stuff, not a lot, but a lot of my beers are ripped off of his ideas in a sense.
Okay.
Like he not ripped off so much as he inspires.
Inspired by.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gives me a little bit of inspiration. He pulls amazing flavors out and unique malt bills he puts together with his beers. His dark, I think it's his dark ale, strong dark ale, is probably the best stout I've ever had in my entire life.
Wow.
To the point where I would pour crawlers at Ballast just to take home to my friends so they could try it.
Yeah.
Because it's one of those, a crushable stout is 7.5 crushable stout.
Yeah.
Shouldn't exist.
Right.
But he made it. And so, I've always just kind of gone off because I like stouts, but I'm not a big stout recipe writer.
Yeah.
So he's basically given me all the inspiration and knowledge to produce this.
Nice.
And this really did come out of his ideas. So,
this is good. Man's Milk.
Thank you.
Noble Ale Works. So when you come to Noble Ale Works, you can run across the board in styles here and not be disappointed, because so far on the show we've had a hazy IPA, kind of a New Zealand IPA, I guess, if you will, if you want to call it that. But for people that aren't familiar with New Zealand, is similar to a West Coast IPA. And then a Goza, which was stupid. It's different experience for those of you that have never tried a sour. Try it. It's easy drinking with a lot of flavor. And then, of course, Naughty Sauce, which is one of your bigger beers here that do really well for you. A golden stout with heavy coffee flavor, and just it's balanced really, really, really well. And then, obviously, Man's Milk. And then, what's the orange one called?
Just orange chocolate man's milk.
Orange chocolate man's milk. That one
Really
is
creative
stupid. And that's just a special release, right? And you're not canning that. That's just going to be on tap.
No, yeah, it's just on tap, but it's so easy to reproduce that we'll probably just keep putting it out there.
You have to. That was so good.
Yeah. I feel like our goal is to get like a good variety of variants SOP'd out they're really reproducible, and now we're just going to go with that going forward. So Naughty Man's Milk is one. Nose Candy is our IPA. So we do a lot of pepper IPAs with Nose Candy that come out really well. A lot of fruit ones. So we had a cranberry lemon one that just kind of rolled out. The people loved it. And so that's the thing. So the thing is to come here, dial in some beers, and then once we have things kind of organized, start making variants left and right like crazy. Because the beautiful thing about this brewery is we have so many different tank sizes that we can produce like a big batch, but we have a couple 5 barrel fermenters that we just transfer into, and we can just brink them. We can just so the variants are kind of endless for us. We can play around, we have fun, and if it goes bad, we dump it down the drain and no one knew about it.
Yeah, and hopefully the owner's listening. He's like, "Oh, don't do that too much."
We don't have inventory space, Steve.
There you go. But there's so many different possibilities that that you can come up with, like you said. Once you get a good base going, and then all the different adjuncts and things that you can do to a beer to really, make it unique and different. As a brewer, that's the fun part.
It is. It's also, God, it's so stressful. It really is. Because there's all different manners in which you can introduce a certain flavor. If it's extract, it's extract, right?
Yeah.
But that's always like the cherry on top for me.
Yeah.
Like for all of us here. Is like if we need more, push more, it's like the orange chocolate man's milk. It's just a little bit of orange extract kind of made that orange finally pop.
Right.
And that's kind of where we go with extract is there's no one beer that's pure extract, but those are what kind of highlight flavors for us.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's kind of like, how do we throw in these cacao nibs? Do we want to just steep them? Do we want to toast them? How long do we do it? Do we recirc them? And it's like, once it fails, everybody blames me, and I
it's all blame it on Jimmy. That's easy.
That's fine with me.
But yeah, everything we've had is amazing, Jimmy. Just like last time, thanks for having us here at the brewery.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you for coming back.
Yeah,
I love talking to you guys.
Yeah,
so I think
it's been awesome.
Somebody asked me how long are you gonna be? An hour, 2, 3. I mean, it just happens. You guys are great.
Yeah,
I enjoy this. It's not stressful at all.
No, and just thank you for sharing all your knowledge with us and with everybody listening, man. It's awesome hearing you talk about beer.
We need better beer, right? Everybody needs.
For sure, man.
That's
but
the thing.
Yeah,
just hearing you talk about it and just sharing kind of how you put the beer together and. Yeah, man.
Thank you, Brandon.
It's really awesome.
It, man.
Yeah, man.
That's good stuff, man.
Glad you guys enjoyed it.
Yeah.
You should have seen how much fun I had at the Punk in the Park Festival pouring that for people.
Oh, I can imagine.
Just me.
Oh, you went to that?
Oh yeah. Oh, I have to go. I go every year. It's my owner. Fucking he completely just went at me because I refused to not go to it.
Yeah.
I just put the kegs in the fucking car and just drove down there. I'm like, hey, fuck you, I'm going.
Yeah.
And then I poured man's milk all weekend with the worst remarks you could ever hear from people.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Punk in the Park. They all loved it.
Yeah.
Except the odd person was like, there was one. I felt bad. There was a wife sent her husband back to get it because I think I said there's a part of me in every glass, and that really scared her.
That scared her.
So she sent her husband back to get more of it for her.
That's beautiful. Well, next time you do Punk at the Park, call me. I'll come pour it with you.
Oh, hell yeah. You guys
I wanted to go to that. That sounds like fun.
Next year.
Yeah, let's do
Definitely.
Let's do it.
Yeah. It was amazing too because we had Klein set it up because he knows Connie, the person who runs all the the brouhaha stuff.
Yeah.
So it was syncopated to my left, and then it was my good buddy from Ballast Point, who's the head sales in this area for Modern Times.
Yeah.
Pouring all next to each other.
Nice.
So it was a disastrous weekend.
Yeah.
It was disastrous in a good way.
Here, drink this.
Right? That's exactly how it went down. Is as soon as I had people working for me, all I was doing was I was going tasting everybody's stuff, and it got to the point with Enegren, because Enegren's Enegren.
Yeah, it's great.
We were trading orange chocolate man's milk in pints for Nighthawk in pints.
Oh, Nighthawk.
It was amazing. It was one of the best points of my life as a brewer, on a festival.
Did Chris go down there? Chris Enegren? Was he there?
No. It's just I think it was a lot of their sales reps.
Yeah.
But they're awesome. I mean, everybody there is so awesome.
Enegren's a shit.
It really is. All their stuff's so fire. And so, that they wanted my beer.
Yeah.
But that I got theirs. I was like, oh.
Maybe that's a future collab you can work on.
I'm trying, man. You don't even know. I'm scared. It's that hesitation, that nervousness,
Yeah. That's dope.
You got it. Yeah.
But hopefully we got some good ones coming up. I think we're doing Everywhere pretty soon.
Everywhere?
Yeah, which is, God, Keith and Stefan are amazing over there, just taking what they did at the brewery and putting it in a new place. So
I still got to get over there.
Come on, I'm going right there. I'm going there right now.
Are you really?
I think so.
Yeah.
It's still open. Some of the stuff they do with seltzers is amazing.
Yeah.
The funny thing is the owner gives me their post to try to reproduce their seltzers. I'm like, no, we're not doing that here.
Yeah.
Because it's immediately to come back and bite us in the ass.
Right.
But their seltzers, and I'm not a seltzer fan, but their seltzers are outrageously good. Outrageous. Everything to do is solid.
I might have to try it. I'm one of those people that I'm on the fence on seltzers, and I haven't really come across one that's just totally blown my mind.
But have you had seltzer that's recirced on coconut cream to produce a thick body, and then you put pumpkin in that, and then you put whipped cream and you put shavings on top? That's a great way to ruin a beer festival. When that glass comes out with Grip Keen and you take it to the next brewery and they just look at it like, what the hell?
What happened to your cup?
Yeah.
Yeah, we had some wild seltzers.
Is that man's milk? What's going on there?
The best part is when it went down, I walked over there to Keith, one of the head brewers, and I was like, dude, what are you doing? And he just loved it. He was laughing so hard, and I appreciate that. That's something that's rad.
So that's kind of right up the alley of Sandbox Brewing. They make a seltzer that's like heavily fruited.
Yep.
And it was decent. The wife really enjoyed it, and I was just like, I don't know what it is about seltzer. It's hard, and I've found one so far that, and it's I think it's InBev or one of the big companies that made it, where it's a cucumber lime seltzer. It's
we have a cucumber yuzu seltzer on tap.
Oh, I might have to try that here. I'm just like, oh man, the seltzer. I don't know if it's for you, but I always get this like hand sanitizer flavor.
Yeah, totally.
And even when it's masked with all the adjuncts and the smoothie fruit and all that, I'm just like, I can still taste it.
I wish you guys were here a little bit earlier. So we did a high gravity batch just so we can blend it, to put it down, and came out like 14%.
Oof.
But so we'd had it from a beer that I inherited.
Yeah.
Was done with one of the a distiller's yeast, 18%, and I still remember trying it and being like, I took a sip on accident because I was trying to figure out what was in every tank when I showed up here.
Yeah, and
I felt like I was going to go blind because
it's like moonshine.
So one of my best friends, Garrett Souza over at Lone Wolf Brewing, who just took over at Lone Wolf, does some of the best seltzers I've ever tried in my entire life. So the first thing I did was reach out to him. How do I make a good seltzer, high gravity with this? And he's like, just use Lutric. And so we're like, okay. So we did 90 barrels of Lutric at 14%. And we just ended. I'm so lazy with seltzers. I hate them. I don't hate them, but it's like, God, it's not what we're doing here.
Right.
So we put on the 14% seltzer just as it was.
Oh, wow.
People loved it.
Yeah.
It just tastes like apple cider or like mead or something like that.
Yeah.
I wish I could pour it for you guys. Like
a sake or something.
Oh, it just ruined you too. That was the best part.
Yeah.
But I think there's like a trolling aspect to seltzer. You know what I
a
mean?
little
Like what
bit.
you're
I
talking about
appreciate
with the
that aspect
pumpkin. Yeah, it's kind of
well,
fun
no, everywhere Keith and Stefan do it amazing. Then that's why like I'll go over there and I will drink their seltzers, just because. I mean, they do such a good job of it. The brewery, like Thoreau, the stuff that they did over there was so cutting edge on the forefront of everything else is doing flavor wise. Mm-hmm. And they've had so much time. I don't know if you guys have ever seen the back of the brewery and seen how many little tiny like tanks they have to create like variants and stuff like that. It's insane. And these guys have been doing that for years and years and years. And they've perfected so many different means of injecting flavor that you wouldn't think into a beer. Did I go there and I'll guess at what they're doing when I'm talking to them, and then I'll say, shit, I can never do that because they'll know. I just can't steal that from them. But the stuff they do is just absolutely fantastic. And the fact that they also brought from Thoreau, they didn't bring it from Thoreau, but they have 2 fooders there everywhere they're going to start using.
Oh, really?
I'm excited about that. I can't wait to see what they produce out of those guys.
That's something that I've always wanted to do.
I miss mine so bad. Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Those are so much fun.
They're really cool. Yeah.
But yeah, check it out everywhere. Amazing. And
what time do they close?
11.
Well, maybe.
What time is it?
It's 9:43. We're good. Go have a pint there.
We got
So
yeah.
All right. Well, again, thank you for the hospitality here at Noble Ale Works.
Thank you for coming out, guys. You guys are more than welcome anytime.
This fucking place is badass. You're badass. The beers here are badass. For anybody that comes to the Anaheim area, visiting Disneyland, going to an Angels game, a Ducks game, I don't know who else plays over there.
A show.
Right?
The Honda Center, man.
Last time we were here, we had who was it? Slayer,
man.
Slayer. That was a random night. I'm like, why are all these metal people? It was Iron Maiden. That's right. Iron Maiden. I was like, why are all these metal people in here? This is weird.
That was awesome. I was so stoked.
That was perfect for that.
Who are these? Oh,
yeah. So, but yeah, shout out to Steve, owner of Noble Ale Works. You got a good crew here. You finally putting it together here, and I think that Jimmy's got everything going good here, and I think the future.
Yeah. Sure. Shout out Paul too. Paul has got some great beers going,
and Paul
over at Noble
and Josh.
Yeah, and hopefully you guys come back and meet Devin and Cam, the 2 new guys coming out.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay. I mean, the thing is like us we were speaking about earlier is bringing people in the team, and sometimes they just need to find their role,
Right.
find their motivation, and build from that. And both those guys, Devin had never brewed in his life, just interested in it. Came in, and there were some stumbling blocks along the way, but he's only been here a short time to the point where now he's taking over draft maintenance completely. Right now, SOPs today.
That's incredible.
Fixed the keg cleaner like you couldn't even imagine. He's super creative, and we're just trying to get him back to the brew house to build him up there. To where you have 3 guys running the brew house now. Like Cam is amazing train boy, one of my best friends. He can't read really. He can't do interviews, but hey, he's a good guy.
Maybe we'll bring him on. Those are the perfect people to have that.
I'll be here. So we did last week. Or 2 weeks ago. We did like introducing our new beers.
Yeah.
And we tried to put him out in front of the camera, and all he could talk about is how many beers can you drink before it's unsafe to drive.
Right.
So he's sitting there like, this beer is very good. You can only drink 3 until you can't drive home.
That's perfect.
Hey, good knowledge to have.
Responsibility, right? He's trying to be.
That's right.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Seriously.
So, yeah. Thanks for having us again. For the listeners, Noble Ale Works, Anaheim, California, just west of the 57 freeway, right off of Catella. I mean, it's really easy to find. It's literally right off the freeway. So come check them out. Tell them the BeerDad and Brew podcast sent you, and try a little bit of everything until you find the one that really, kicks it up a notch, and then maybe takes them to go. And look for the Noble Ale Works. They're also available in distribution. You can find them down in San Diego, California, my hometown, Steve's hometown, where the San Diego Padres play. So check them out. Noble Ale Works, Anaheim, California. Thanks again, Jimmy.
Thank you, guys.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Hey, Justin, I see like some old lady stumbling around.
Oh yeah. Grandma's here. Let's bring Grandma on. Cheers.
They also practice by drinking the urine of a ram.
The what?
They drink ram's piss.
Because of the pH balance?
No, because if you can drink ram's piss, fuck, you can drink almost anything.
She said fuck.
Oh, what is the malted liquor? What gets you drunk or quicker? What comes in bottles or in cans? Beer. Can't get enough of it. Beer. How we really love it. Beer. Makes me think I'm a man. Beer. I could kiss and hug it, but I'd rather chug it. Beer. My belly out to here. Beer. I could not refuse it. Beer. I could really use a beer. Beer. I can't remember how much I have had. I drank a 12-pack with my dad.